Far Cry 4 still grappling on to 4th position in the UK sales charts, it seems a little odd to be speculating on the setting of the next game in Ubisoft's open-world wildlife troll-em-up. Still, that's what I'm about to do thanks to this blurry little screenshot of a recent survey sent out by Ubisoft to some of its customers. The questionnaire asks the recipient to select their 3 most preferred settings for a future Far Cry game, and in the 11 available choices there's an interesting mix of potential plot lines. Some sound pretty awesome, while others leave me feeling colder than a karate yeti's nipple. Let's take a look at them all.
Awesome.
I need to find someplace to escape this cold.
First up, a Far Cry game in remote Alaska surviving extreme wilderness. Sounds like a pretty cool concept, combining the open-world action of Far Cry with the survival sim grittiness of games like The Long Dark and Rust. Trouble is, that genre of games can be pretty punishing, with steep learning curves, and that might make it a little too hardcore to appeal to a wider audience.
No, wait! I paid double, triple!
A Far Cry game set in a futuristic setting on another planet. Sounds too much like a red herring to me, a bit too off the wall to be an honest-to-God idea. Unless they decided to make a game that's a little bit like the tragically cancelled Prey 2, featuring you as a human bounty hunter, chasing down alien criminals with a ton of awesome future gadgets and weapons to play with.
Target identified.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory.
A Far Cry game set in the Vietnam War during 1960. Well, Far Cry does love its insane protagonists. A Colonel Kurt-style bad guy would be ace, especially if the story was really dark and the game took a more realistic turn compared to the camp theatrical events of Far Cry 4.
Are you an assassin? I'm a soldier.
A Far Cry game set in the cocaine trafficking jungles of Peru. Now this sounds like a possibility. Modern setting, crazy villains, tropical locale, exotic flora and fauna to pick up all murder, drugs and violence. If I were after a safe bet, I'd probably choose this one. A Far Cry game where you fight and join vampires? Oh, please no. Just no. Please, don't even go there.
This kind of stuff just doesn't exist.
It does in my world.
A Far Cry game in the spaghetti western style set in the late 19th century Americas. Call of Juarez Gunslinger, a Ubisoft-published spaghetti western first-person shooter, was ace, which was a bit of a shock considering it followed on from the epically bum Call of Juarez the Cartel. Far Cry meets Red Dead with the looks of Gunslinger as an exciting prospect, but the series is well known for its vehicles, and I'm not sure 19th century steam trains would be the best things for navigating an open-world environment. Great potential, but I doubt it would fit the Far Cry formula well enough.
That is the natural order of things, Crane. Kill or be killed, eat or be eaten.
A Far Cry game set during a zombie outbreak. Open world zombie games have been done to death. I think we can all live without having another one. Here's hoping Ubisoft thinks the same thing.
Answer me, motherfucker!
Robo Balls.
That's a Rex code guarantee.
Blood Dragon 2, a sequel to Blood Dragon with more Rex power cult. A new Blood Dragon would be ace, but can they stretch that formula over a full game without the 80s in-jokes getting a little bit tedious? I don't think they can. I'd love another Blood Dragon as a smaller downloadable offering, just like the first was, but with a full release, I doubt we'll see much innovation in the gameplay.
He is Sergeant Rex. Power. Colt.
Far Cry game set in a Mad Max-style post-apocalyptic world. Interesting. I'm thinking something along the lines of Rage here. Desert-style landscapes, rust bucket vehicles, and crazy botched-together weaponry. Could be good fun and would allow the writers to think up some fantastical stories full of crazy lunatics for us to hunt down and murderize. A Far Cry game in the present day on a Jurassic Park style world of dinosaurs. Oh man, this one, please! There's not enough games with dinosaurs in nowadays, and how cool would it be to crash through the jungle, guns blazing while straddling an angry Triceratops? The hunting and skinning mini quests could revolve around you taking down dinos like velociraptors and T-Rexes, and a remote island network would be the perfect location for a Far Cry game. A Far Cry game based in the world of Shangri-La from Far Cry 4. A game based on the most boring and aggravating levels from Far Cry 4? I wouldn't put it past Ubisoft to do something like that, to be honest. In fact, they'd probably make you play as Yogi and Reggie as well. Oh, I'll probably burn all my consoles if that happens.
Oh God, it's worse than I remember.
So how likely is it that any of this will come true? Well, Ubisoft has a long history of polling Assassin's Creed fans in exactly the same manner, which year on year proves to be a fairly decent steer on what's next in the pipeline. Back in 2011, a survey on future AC settings included the American Revolution, which was announced shortly afterwards for AC3, and the Victorian Empire, which we now know is due next year in the recently leaked AC Victory. And last year's survey mentioned a pirating game without an assassin protagonist, something which sounds a lot like AC Rogue, also released last year, as well as entering buildings seamlessly, which turned out to be another Unity feature. If I went with my brain, I'd say the Peru setting is a shoo-in, but my heart desperately wants Far Cry 5 Dinosaur Island to be the next game in the series. But what about